There's the trunk backing. I'm very happy with it. And when we open up the spare tire, still get at the spare tire with lots of room to spare. I think I've got my storage compartment where I need it to be. Here's the compartment sitting in place. This piece will come in here after. Corner's in, it's done, it's tight. Welcome back, guys and girls. We're on part 3 of the trunk build, and we have the other 2 up on YouTube already. If you want to check those out, there'll be a link for part 2 just after this. But let's get rolling. We want to get a little more structure done on that trunk, and soon we can start doing the upholstery part of it. So let's go. So I've made these 2 panels here. They'll cover the tail light. We're going to put a centerpiece that's going to be attached to these and a cover. Now to get at the tail lights, just pull this guy out here. And both sides work that way. You can actually fold them right down and access all these bulbs. They go back in. And what I'll do is build a metal cover. I think it'll be magneted in place, and it'll be just vinyl wrapped, maybe a piece of foam and then vinyl to match the wrapping and doing the back portion here. I think I'm going to put a cubby there to match this one, because I did realize I still need to be able to access the bulb for that guy there, and I can't reach it putting my hand up under there. So I think that's what's going to happen on this side yet. And you can't really go wrong with a little extra storage, especially if the space is there. Getting close to having the framework done, guys and girls. This is the back panel here, and I'm just working on my CAD design, cardboard aided design, filling in the top, and that will come out as one piece. And I've left a little spot for the latch here. That's kind of shape it's going to have when you're looking in there. It allows adjustability on the bolts, and you can actually take the thing out without removing this panel. So here's that top piece. It's going to go right here to fill this opening. I'm hoping it hasn't flexed too much while I put it on, but we're going to cut it out and see how close we get to the actual fit. So this piece is almost done here. I've got some foam to test for thickness. What I have to do is take a little bit out of the perfect fit here, because we are able to fit vinyl between it when the part goes in. And I've borrowed a pin nailer, because I'm not a carpenter, but my father-in-law, I was asking what to buy, and he said, "I'll just borrow mine, I have a couple." So we got a pin nailer. I've pin nailed these guys on here, and it's a support brace, because otherwise there's a lot of flimsiness going on. And basically I can pin nail it down with some wood glue, and that piece will have a lot of strength. So we're good to go on that account there. So this is the vinyl. It's the same stuff I use on the kick panels. I really like the texture of it. It looks kind of classy. So the goal is now to use this vinyl. We're going to put it in between the edges here to make sure it still has the clearance it needs, and be able to drop it down in here. That'll be another thing we have to do. And then I will pin nail this guy on and let it dry overnight, and I think we'll be done for the work day at that point. So here's what I guess I'll call the back filler panel. What I've done is taped the vinyl material plan on running here on each side over the edge. There too. So now when we go to stick it in to here, it should give me the spacing I need on each of these sides to butt up against there. I also had planned on putting foam on here first and give it a bit of a soft touch feel. But the more I look at it, I feel like that would cheapen up this piece. This should just be straight wrapped kind of thing after I paint it. I've also marked out here, because we're going to run staples along there and there. And I marked it here and here, so I can just draw a line to connect these and that, and then I know where to put my pin nails in. I think I'm also going to do one on the end here just to keep that steady, but we won't actually like nail it down onto there. So there we go, guys. I got this in here. It's gonna dry. We're gonna sand it up and it'll look good. Gotta finish off this edge yet. It's kind of what I'm thinking. But it's in there pretty good now. It's not like it's a thing that's holding anything up. It's just a back trim panel. Yeah, it'll look good when it's done. I think it looks super. So we do have to build a baggage door compartment here yet. And then we're good to go. You can see I've rounded off all of this edge in here. There's a little gap here, but that will, I think, get filled a little bit by the vinyl when it's in there. And you do see it a bit, so I have sanded it. But look how flush that comes, guys. This is perfect with the metal edge. I finished the sanding. You can see it's nice and level now, and rounded off this edge really nicely. So that piece, I am gonna just straight wrap that. I think that'll look great. I picked this up at the local Canadian Tire. I was in line to buy a floor jack that was correct for this car. Price wasn't bad to buy it. It was 75 Canadian, but by the time I included the shipping on it, I was up to almost 300, and I could not justify that. So I'm going to try this guy and see if it can be made to work in the trunk. And I really wanted to have the jack available at this point already because I want to start closing this stuff in. So let's take a look at it. Well, I think that can be made to work with a bracket. It just barely fits in this hole here. I don't need to add anything else then to that space. Maybe some protection so we don't scratch the trunk putting it in and out. And it also comes with the handle. So the bracket is this guy here. And I think I can make that bracket work with this. I might have to do a little bit of modifying of that bracket, but it could be made to work. So if I open this up, let's see if it stays put. Yeah, so I think I can totally make that work. This end clamps nicely here. The end we might run into an issue with is this guy here. Yeah, so this might have to be extended up over the top of that. That's something I can play with later. Now I know I can finish out that trunk there. And this looks like it's small enough that I could put it in the spare tire. That's kind of would be cool. If not, I have an idea of where I want to put it. I've made one more cubby compartment for the passenger side of the car. And that'll go in first. This will screw to it. There is the other side cubby. Hiding back there is access to the marker light on the side. It's in there nice and tight. I've got 4 screws holding it to the floor. And then the side panel is held on to some inner panels here. And inside here with some flat screws. So I think we're ready to almost start making trim. We'll make those metal panel covers for the taillights and stuff like that first. And we got this piece of floor to make right here. And I think I'm just going to hinge it with some piano hinge and have it flip up like this. So it's good to roll.